And I read that you talked about Wayne having a really great ear for melody and stuff. What can you tell me about Wayne and what he brought to this record?
This record in particular, I mean, was a lot of stuff that he brought to the table because he really wanted to. This was like one of those records. I don't think any of us thought it'd be his last, but you just could tell he he was approaching 62. A lot of people didn't realize that. He was 59 when he passed, and he'd been doing this a long time. And this was just one of those records I felt like he really wanted to prove to people that he could riff and he could play, and he wasn't like a one trick pony. Because I don't remember who it was. Someone had said something to him about like uh, a lot of the older Saliva riffs and a lot of the old stuff, you know, being really really great. And he came up with a lot of that stuff, and he had told them. I remember, I think it might have been an interview somewhere, and I remember him saying like, "Yeah, but I always felt like I was holding back. Like everyone always just wanted me to just keep everything super simple and super dumb, which is not necessarily a bad thing. You can get some great stuff out of that, but he always would say things like he never really felt like he could be himself in those first 10 years of what the band was doing, because he always had like labels and everyone telling you should dress this way, you should be like this,
Mm.
you need to write songs like Nickelback, and you're right, you know what I mean, or whatever was hot at the time. And I love Nickelback. He always felt like he was like in this box. And then when I got in the band, he would always say this to people in interviews, like, Bobby just kind of let me do and be who I wanted to be, and never held back anything. We'd be in the studio, and he's like, "Nah, you got to rip here, you got to solo here," and we'd work through it, man. We
Mhm.
definitely. I was a huge fan of his guitar playing and his style and his work. And this record in particular, I was like, man, we got to get a lot of that stuff, and we don't want it to sound like necessarily just old Saliva, that stuff you've already done. Let's make it sound fresh and different. Put a
Mhm.
unique approach on it. He really liked a lot of the industrial stuff too. Like he loved like Manson and Nine Inch Nails and things. So when you listen to like Crows and some of these other songs, you hear some like Toxic, some industrial elements and a lot of that stuff. So